Hi everyone, Soul Super 17 here. Let me first, like usual, I do not own this video, thumbnail I mean, and this is not a paid video. Alright, okay. So, it's been a while since I made this. Reasons why I basically am, I kind of been trying to make videos, but then I need to go back and watch them, and then it's like, this time frame for work. Oh, it doesn't really matter. I'll be able to make videos during the night anyways. So, it's just been these past couple of months, this past 3 months I've been working, like, during the day shift over the summer with my job, and then I work basically night again. So, weekends is most likely where those videos are going to come out, and I'm going to try to watch some things, but it's hard to watch some of my videos because I can't do so properly due to the fact of the internet is restricting what I can watch at my job. So yeah, it's hard to watch videos too here when I'm, sleeping during the day. Anyways, we're back in the Soul series. And there's going to be slight adding on already. I already did it. But now we're kind of going to get full into of adding stuff into basically the series. So, as we know, I basically made a playlist of basically I was in danmachi series, so it's already basically made. Part 12 was added into it. This is part 13. So I do remember basically I keep on doing something like adding, or keep on changing which arm it is. It's always left. I just keep on forgetting when I say right or left, because it's like I've had something planned. So, but it's left arm. Basically it's turned into basically what it is, basically a prosthetic arm that has like metal, basically bone structure. So gonna basically find some new stuff in this one, and kind of where we're gonna get into the, basically the Apollo arc, I would call it. We're kind of gonna get into that now. So quick recap. Part 12. Dungeon. Boss monster, Goliath, Black Goliath, basically, fell down, basically, tried to kill it, came back to life. Then, new monster appeared, and faced it. Used, basically, soul consumption, and, yeah, I was put through a lot of pain, and I basically died. Well, not died. I basically went unconscious, I meant. And now, we're gonna skip the OVA, because it's just really a hot spring scene. So we're going to kind of skip that. Oh yeah, and Eyes was there, so she knows about some stuff is going on. And that was in part 11, so she basically saw the whole entire fight of the Goliath monster, and now, and basically this abomination monster combination. So now it's part 13. Alright, let's get this started. So, what if I was a danmachi? Part 13. Okay, so last time, basically, we had me face against a new monster that the dungeon and Hades created. Hades created along with the dungeon. And that thing was a real piece of work. Not easy. I only had basically a couple of souls left, and right about now, since basically the Black Goliath died and was being resurrected, it still died, and now basically the newer monster. So I did not think basically about adding the basically souls ahead of time. So let me do that, and yeah, give me a minute. Okay, sorry about that, everyone. It took me a while because I was like, for something, and yeah, I had to basically double check something. I did kind of realize about the whole entire souls that Beaver would have added on to, but I kind of just basically was like, I just added on to it. So right now the souls I have is 133805. So, reasons why. Like I said, the souls of the monsters that Biro killed, I got. And during the second fight with the Abomination monster, I'm calling it, it basically also Biro's 5 monsters. So yeah. So, let's continue on. As I said, I was knocked out, and now we're basically back at the tavern / bar. As well, I'm basically would start waking up. As when I'm waking up, I would basically slowly open up my eyes, because 1, the light would be basically blinding me. 2, I'm in a daze. So, when I'm opening up my eyes, I would hear someone sniffling and crying, as I will look over and, for instance, I see someone basically with silver hair and violet eyes. Hold up. Okay, so light novel is silver, anime is violet. I was right. It's just, I never read the light novel. I am thinking about that if I do that in a fanfic, and whatever other danmachi what-ifs I would make would basically go for the light novel now. I'll basically read the light novel and all my information will go from there. Or I was making a mix between light novel and anime, but yeah, I'm trying to find the light novel to read. But yeah, no, for right now though, Freya's eyes are violet, and basically I see her basically crying, holding down out her hand basically, as I feel some warmth to my cheek, and I'm like, Freya? And basically then all of a sudden I blink and it's Seer. And she goes, Freya? I'm like, sorry, my head, as I'm holding my head now, and she's, saying, you shouldn't move so much, you need to be careful, you've been asleep for 2 days, which I just blink, I'm like, wait, Belle, Hestia, everyone, wait, sleep for 2 days? She nods, as she would bring me up, have my back against a bed frame, as basically I was about to say something, but I hear someone mumbling. So I look over, I see it's Hestia, have her head basically laying down on the bed, as I just have a soft smile on my face. But then a little look at Seer, I'm like, well, I will say to her, Seer, she basically holds up her hand, saying, you were probably hallucinating or seeing things, but why do you think of me as Freya? In which, basically, I just blink and, basically, I would say, in my head, because it's basically a possibility from what I know is, you are basically Freya. There's no obvious way you're not, but I can't say that, now can I? But, before anything happened, any more conversation can happen, actually, Hestia's waking up. And, well, I basically, just kind of basically have another thought. Oh, great, how is Hestia going to react to me? 2, can I basically Festus work on basically the core? The puppet. The fire basically core. If so, then hopefully I could basically increase my flame powers without actually using my Night Tempest? My gift? Huh. This is gonna be very interesting. And before anything else, Hestia would say, Soul? Soul! You're awake! Because she would look over, basically, and hug me, as I'm like, as I basically go, ow, 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 Hestia, my body's, as, she basically would say, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to, and, basically Seer would just, have a soft smile on her face, but then there would be an unknown voice in the room. Basically, we all heard it goes like, well, Soul. Yeah, well, Soul, it's the first time I've ever met you in real life. so to speak. As I will look over as my eyes widen, we see black hair, tan skin, golden eyes individual. I might be wrong about the eyes, but wearing basically an outfit that I only remember from seeing once. Well, not once, but seeing him basically have before the second game. It's basically a brown brown jacket. The shirt though is different. It's basically white. Pants are basically your jean blue with boots on. It has a huge bracelet, huge type of bracelet on his arm, but I know what that is. He has a smirk on him, while one of his arms actually looks all crystallized. As I would say, Lindau. It's as I just look down and I'm thinking to myself, why is he here? How did he get here? Code Vein and God Eater are from the same world. As my eyes will slightly widen, as I hear Hestia go say, "Who are you? And how do you know Soul?" As basically Cyril nod, as Lindau says, cool, you're basically, short stack? Yeah. Cool it, short stack. Not here for you. I'm here for Soul. And my other basically partner is also here. As I hear basically the door open and a familiar voice of another black hair individual wearing basically a fancy type of dress with outfit with a vest on, a blue shirt, black pants, and basically not boots. Yeah, no, actually would wear boots, but different from Lindau's. But he has red eyes, and he has basically metal around his jawline. And basically he will say to Lindau, he goes, "Sorry for the wait." And as he looks over, I see him. He goes, "It's good to once again see you again, Soul. How have you been?" I'm like, "Lewis?" As I have after I basically see him for a few minutes, I avert my eyes. As Seer and basically Hestia are just seeing him have a soft smile. So with Lindau. As Hestia again asks, "Who are you?" And she's about to basically call anyone for help, as basically Lewis says this: "We are Soul's companions. He has met us before. Or should I say, he has an adventure with us. Fighting, by side, so to speak." Which Lindau would nod. He goes like, "Yep." Can't believe it though. This is what you really look like. Man, you look so different. But it's glad to see you once again. Which I don't say nothing, as Lewis would say, "Wow, I can bet you're very surprised. You probably have a mile a minute of thoughts going in your head. But we are real, Soul. That's for sure." Which I just nod slowly. He goes, Did she send you?" "The Queen? Yes, she did. After all, she thought it would be quite nice to see an old friend. Or two." Which I will just say this. How do you know?" Which Lindau just sighs, goes, "She told us everything. That little basically short stack told us everything." Man, who knew? Two different video games are exactly from the exact same world. Revenants and God Eaters. Which, Seer and Hestia are confused, but with the Revenant part, Hestia's not. I'll just nod. Which, basically, Lindau says, "Look, Soul, you're probably thinking that we are mad at you, hate you, but we can't." As I look up slowly at him, and he adds on, "You didn't know basically we would be real. Heck, our worlds basically go back to normal if you basically restarted the game, but our worlds are real. You should know about the, basically, gates. I would finish. He nods. It's in your mind, which I would nod. Those worlds are basically connected into your mind for individuals to come to talk to you. You know that, right? I just roll my eyes, and he just chuckles. He goes, "Of course you do." Which Hesio looks at me along with Seer, but Seer's a little bit confused, but on the inside, she goes, "There's so much I did not know about." Yes, I am basically making Seer being Freya, because it would make the more logical sense. So, and I bet everyone knows by now, so yeah. But anyways, Lewis would say, "And we were sent here for, well, as the request of the Queen." Which, I will not say her name, just in case you've forgotten about it. I want her to tell you. As I just chuckle like, yeah, I sort of did forget about her name. It's around the back of my neck, slowly. In which Lindau says, "Here, catch." As then he throws basically a duffel bag that no one even knows, but it was on the ground. As all of a sudden I just catch it, and there's like, it's really heavy. Basically, I'm like, what the? Which I look at him, along with Lewis. Basically, just smile. He was like, "Those are parts. Parts from our world." And, as then he holds out basically, even that no one even noticed, but a case. "This is an old friend of yours. One that you used very well to slay origami." As I'm eyes wide, go like, "But that's a god arc." He goes, "Yep." Anyways, there, in that bag is a whole bunch of items you can use from basically, well, our worlds. You haven't forgotten, haven't you? You're a revenant. And, technically, we're from the exact same world, so revenants are supposed to slay origami. Or loss. Well, basically, they never use, basically, god arcs. Maybe you can. Who knows about the effects? There may even be some people coming here. Which Lewis would nod. He goes, "Yes, someone come here basically to help someone out. Though, that is for you and her to decide. Either way, there's the materials to upgrade basically your weapons further. Some origami parts, and basically some metal materials from my game." Which, basically Linda will nod. He goes like, "Yep. Can increase the weapon here too." As he points to the briefcase that Lewis is basically putting on the side. Which, he'll say, well, Lewis will just say this: "It's time to go, Lindau. We have to get back." Which he'll nod. He goes like, "Well, great to see you again, Soul. Now, keep on living. After all, you're a god eater." Which, I don't say nothing, but he see the look in my eyes of doubt and shame and basically confusion. Which, he just chuckles. He goes, "You never change, do you?" Which I just blink. As Lewis just says, "He never does. He's a stubborn person to the point. That's it can be insufferable." I was trying to basically say the word insufferable, if that's how you say it right, but to the point where it can be annoying. But he's a good person, right, Lindau? Which he nods. So my eyes widen as basically Lewis will open the door, and he looks back and goes, "We'll meet again, though, so me and basically Linda will come by here to give you basically any new materials from time to time." Which, I just blink at that in shock. As, basically Lewis will leave as, basically Lindau, basically when, about to, grab the handle, he goes, "Yep, see you next time." But then, before he even, starts closing the door, I ask him to wait. He looks back at me, he goes like, Are they mad? Do they? Which he basically, takes a few minutes, thought and look at me, and then he nods no. None of us hate you. You wonder where you went afterwards. Heard about basically another guy named Soul was basically in God Eater Burst. The same in basically God Eater 3. He never changed the name. Which I just basically don't say nothing. And then basically, he's quiet. The room is silent. And he goes, but then Lindau says, you never would abandon me, nor everyone else. You never did, and you never would. You'll fight to save us all, right? Which I just blink, as if I remember saying something that during God Eater 1, when Lindau needed to be saved. And then he basically I look at him, and he looks at me, but he has a smile. He goes, thank you, Soul. Really. For everything. As I did not say nothing. I couldn't even say nothing as he closes the door. Hestia takes a few minutes to blink and then runs basically towards the door and opens it. She looks as there's no one around as she basically goes down. She tells me to wait, and, well, Seer would just look at me and she goes, Soul? Is everything alright? As I look down and I don't even realize it, but I go, yeah, why? Why are you asking? She goes, you're crying. Which I'll just be blinking as then I see teardrops, basically, or should I say water stains on the duffel bag. As I'm like, I'm crying? As I basically just realized it, Sierra would come over and hug me, and Sierra would just say, it's alright, it's okay. I don't know what's going on, but everything's gonna be alright. So, a few minutes pass, and, well, Hestia will come back up with Belle, Lily, Ralph, Ryu, Mamma Mia, and basically a few other people from the tavern. As Hestia will ask, Soul, who are those two men? I know about one of them, but not the other. I'm like, well, I'll look at her and goes, you know about Lewis. She nods. As I just sigh, and I was saying, Lindau. He's the captain from God Eater. A world where it's apocalypse like Code Vein. Which Belle is just blinking along for everyone else, and the first one to ask would be Mamma Mia. She goes, what's God Eater and Code Vein, Soul? I mean, I'm in the dark here, so you gotta tell me everything. As I look at her as my eyes don't go dim, but she can tell there's a hint of fear. As Hestia basically looks at me with worry, as I just sigh and just say this. Alright. I guess no. Not guess. You deserve to know the truth. The truth about me and where I come from. Who I am. It's a tale... a tale of confusion. Hope you're all ready for it. As everyone looks at me and has to just ask, are you sure? I just nod. Which Bells will ask, Lady Hestia? Are you sure? Which she would basically look back at me as I look at Belle and her. I'm like, yeah, they deserve to know. Well, Lily, Ryu, Seer, Mamma Mia, and the other two tavern people. So, what happens is very simple. I go to explain everything to them. From who I am and where I was from, into the games, into basically how I even got here. And, well, I don't have to tell them anymore since the rest is history. As Zero would say, that's horrible. Which I just sign again, and I'm like, wow, I've been sighing a lot today. Huh. But Ryu says, I'm essentially can't die, and I'm stuck here. I wanted to go back home, but I can't. That's what happens in some isekai anime. Which Mamma Mia goes, so, what? You're just, yep, a walking corpse. Or should I say, vampire. Which Mamma Mia just says, so, how many times have you died? Just to roughly guess. You only been here for not even a month. Which I just say, I died in the forest 4 times. Then I died to Biru about 13 times. So if we do the math, that's 5, that's 1, so then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I died 17 times. Or 16. And then I died 4 extra times to basically Goliath. Wait, no, yeah, it was 16, so it's 20 times I died. In which everyone blinks besides Hestia. And so, basically, Rio saying those 13 times was when I basically fought against Biru. When I came in so badly injured. And Biru is basically a monster I tamed due to a magical ring that basically, somehow, brought back the monster and made it my ally. As everyone's looking around as Welf goes, so, where is it? As then all of a sudden Biru comes out of my shadow, and basically was, sitting down, basically, and I just wave, hello. Well, say hello and waves. As everyone is shocked by this, as Ryu would say, this is a lot to take in. And there are 2 basically tavern workers just nod. But Lily would ask, so, you're... Yep. I'm essentially finding random stuff here, taken as my own, in the dungeon I mean, and I can explore everything. I have certain basically abilities that are helping me. And my stats also increase due to my fact is the more times I die, the more determined I am, the bigger my boost of a power will be. Which Welp's like, wait. What do you mean by boost of power? I just smirk at him and like, well, you see, it's called Gravewalk. Well, not Gravewalker, but I would have liked to call it. It's called Grave Hunter. And this allows me to basically to come back stronger. So, I'm essentially have an infinite source of strength. And basically, Mamma Mia asks, so how long does it last? And like, until I kill the monster that I want to kill. It depends on my determination. The more I die, the more determined I get, the stronger I become. It's a 2 times boost at first, the very first time I die, and I get determined. But it depends on how much determination I give it. It can become a 3 to 4 times boost. So 2, 4, 12, 13, or, well, in this case 16, 32. You get what I mean? As everyone nod, and then Seer goes, so, that means my stats increase. The gods' basically blessing will increase, not my actual stats and my soul system. Which, Ryu goes, wait. Even Lily would just be blinking and Welf is in shock. As Bells doesn't say anything. As Seer just, covers her mouth alone, Mamma Mia gets a little bit serious. As I'm like, yes, I have 2 different systems. But Mio asks, so, wait a minute, you said about anime and you know things about basically some series. Does that mean, as basically Lily would just be blinking as, I would just chuckle a bit and I'd be like, well, I should have known a former, basically, well, not former, but semi-former, Freya basically familiar member will actually basically realize that soon. Which Bell just blinks and his eyes widen, and I just smile at them, with a kind, basically soft smile, basically. And basically, Fluff was just say, so we're um, anime? Did I get that right? I just nod. Yep. You guys are all anime, well, you guys are anime characters. Manga slash light novel. So, Belle will just say, and you know everything about this world? Like, yes and no. Which they all just blink and basically, Hestia already knows this, Belle doesn't. But Belle asks, wait, what do you mean by that? Which I just smirk at him and like, well, I can know everything in the world but still not know nothing of it. I can know certain things. And some things I have to guess. I know the main story of this world. I know who's the main character, the main focus of the story, of this world, who's the hero. Which basically Belle's like, wait, who is it? As I just smirk at him on knowing look in my eye, and just basically put my right finger, onto basically, well not onto, but near my lips, and just made the shush motion. As Belle was just blinking, he's like, aww. But I then get a little bit serious, and I would just say this. But Belle, things are gonna happen that we're gonna have to be prepared for. You need to get stronger, quicker, faster. The more monsters are getting stronger, the less you're gonna be way more affected at the dungeon. You can die along with everyone else in your party. Hestia, which she's like blinking, she goes, yes? I just look at her, and just say, we're going to be ready for the basically worst case scenario of a soon to be, god about to appear. Which she's blinking, she goes, soon to be god? I just sigh, I'm like, a god that's already here in Orion? Alright? Where she's like, eyes wide, she goes, why? Oh, you'll tell me a little bit later, will you? I'm like, yes, in private. Which Belle's asking, why? Everyone else is kind of curious too, and I just sigh. Again. I just say, this is becoming a habit. Because, Belle, I know Hestia would not try to change the story. Which Belle's like, huh? What do you mean? He goes like, there's certain actions you take, along with everyone else. Basically, if they know what's gonna happen, they would change it. I can't have that happen. I'm trying to keep basically the story to canon and also not to canon. And we also have monsters from the basically games that are basically I gain the powers from. They're coming here. I think become a way more of a problem than basically anything, since they're a lot stronger than basically the monsters in the dungeon. Maybe the only one that could take them on is Otar. And me. That's it. But even he may have troubles with some of the monsters. In which, basically, that made everyone's eyes widen. Which Ryu says, and you won't? As I look at her with a dead serious look in my eyes, and with a neutral face. And I'll just tell her this. I faced them more times than anyone else could. Since they're from the games, I basically have fought and killed them multiple times. And every time basically the game reset them after I basically stayed at a bonfire or grace or anything of the sort. As basically Ryu would nod slowly to that. And so, hold up. Alright, so, well, I would just, tell her, this simply. So, there are some enemies here that will come around from those worlds. And they'll kill you very easily, even if you are level 4 or 5. Heck, even level 6 adventurers may have even a slightly chance just to kill the basic enemies. I don't know, but this is just only a guess, and I'd rather not take any chances. But we also have another problem if any monsters from Code Vein or, well, mostly God Eater come around, where this world is done for. In which Hestia goes, why? As I look at her, and I just say, straight in her eyes, looking straight in her eyes and say this. An origami is a creature that will eat anything. Plant, buildings, humans. And they don't stop feeding. Now imagine an army of origamis, different shapes and sizes, appear. This world will be in danger. Let's just hope they're only in the dungeons. Which everyone will be, a little bit terrified now. As Sierra will just say, and you're the only one that could... Yeah, I'm the only one that could take them on. Especially if I take that weapon. The only problem is, though, I don't have a bracelet. It would basically keep the containment of Oracle cells from infecting me and turning me into origami. But if I need to take it, then I got no choice in the matter. Let's just hope I never have to use that weapon for a while. Besides, I got a whole bunch of stuff I need to create back at Festus's workshop. Which Wolf was like, what? Why? He goes, I only trust Festus to make my weapon and gear. I also gotta pay her money. I haven't paid her at all for any of the weapon or gear basically she fixed. Wait, no, I have been. Just not recently. Which Wolf will have a little bit of a tick mark. But then Hestia will say, oh, about the monster that you killed. The abomination. Which she blinks, and I'm calling it that. Which she'll nod, and he goes, it dropped this. Well, it dropped a few things. I'm like, As Lily will have a bag, and she goes, here. And I will take it as basically it's the parts of the origami's armor. And I'm like, huh. And the nails. And I'm like looking at her, was like, anything else? She would nod and goes, yes, the guilds have the crystal, Monster Core, but they don't think they can, use it, and they're not going to basically find the Hestia Familia, mostly the Hermes one, due to the fact that you found a new monster and killed it. They're studying it, but they're going to give you back the core. Which basically Belle would nod and goes, yes, and Lady Edna wanted to basically talk to you. Well, not Lady Edna, Miss Edna wanted to talk to you. I'm like, oh, great. Which Wolf would just say, and what about the arm? Which I just blink and I look and it's not even wrapped up. I'm like, looking at them like, oh, this is what happened when basically a Minotaur had black ooze coming around, or off of its body. And my prosthetic arm now, except for a real one, it's made of basic materials from the dungeon. So, it's pretty strong. In which everyone blinks. And, well, it was just like, so, does, Does it hurt? He goes, huh? Your arm? I'm like, oh. If you asked if I could feel any pain with it, no, but I could feel all movements. And everything with it. Which Will was just very confused along with everyone else, which I just shrugged. I'm like, anyways, I just stretch. I'm like, let's basically. Ouch. I forgot I was in pain. Which Hestia just sighs and just says, you have to rest a bit more. Like, just give me my essence flask. Please. Which Hestia just blinks and she goes, I forgot about that. She does give me it as I, drink some and I'm hoping it will work and it dulled the pain. Which I'm just sighing relief. I'm like, okay. Let's just hope that I can walk. I have to go to the Festus and basically talk to her about some stuff. And I just look at Belle. I'm like, so, you do need to be careful though. Alright, Belle? Which he does nod and basically Welf just sighs like, well, glad to see you alright, but we need to get going. Right, Belle? Lily? We're saying nod. So, as they left, Mamma Mia, Ryu, the two other tavern workers, and Sierra will go downstairs and it's just me and Hestia. She basically then sees me put it into my storage, or my basically inventory, or no, armory I mean, and I look at her. As basically I ask her to go grab the case. Well, she'll nod and she'll basically try to lift it up, and she's having a hard time. As Hawasai, get up slowly as I walk over to her calmly and slowly as careful so I don't hurt myself, and I'll pick it up and move it to the bed as the bed would creak a bit. As I'm thinking, how heavy is this? And when I open up basically the suitcase to see what God Arc it is, I have to basically pull up the game, so give me a minute. Okay, so this is basically my loadout that I've basically been using in God Eater 1. Reasons why, because this is very special to me since this is how I got into the God Eater series. So, when I open up basically the suitcase, because it's very huge, I see the God Arc, which basically it's a long sword. As what I see is the final form of the sword, the final level I got it at. The Finsterness X plus 1, along with the Queen Tigress gun EX plus 2, by the way, it's EX, the Finsterness, Finsterness EX plus 1, Queen Tiger gun plus 2, the weird names. Ion, so Ione, whatever, guard plus 1, and I'm not gonna say basically these upgrades or whatever. I'm not gonna say basically what I got for the Predator styles either. It's just gonna be devour techniques, because there's air step combo, quick, and then there's charge attacks. Those are all for Predators. The bullets, I can't make them, so there's no point in mentioning them. But that is the weapon. As I'm just blinking and, I'm just thinking to myself, it's, it's here. It's real. I, wow. I didn't expect to ever see it in real life. So I was about to go and grab it, but then I stopped. And I closed the case and I put it in my armory. As Hestia will look at me, and then I look at her and I just say this. That is basically needs to be used in our day. As I sit on the bed, and she basically would grab a chair and put it right in front of me and just says, "So, what do you need to talk about?" As I look at her. What's gonna happen is very simple, Hestia. It's coming up about the god. Apollo. He's gonna take an interest in Belle. Which her eyes widen, and I say, and we can't stop what's going to happen since Apollo is very persistent. You need to act the way you would normally would do, and certain events need to go as in canon. Which she says, like what? Belle, Welf, and Lily at the bar, at a tavern, get into a fight, which then has Apollo's plan all over it, for that to happen. You get invited to a party, and then basically you refuse a war game. Which, when I say war game, her eyes widen and she goes, "But normally I would say you would refuse, and you only have basically one member at a time. But then you get quite a few other people to join. Some stuff happened with Lily, and you take care of that while basically Belle goes train. Now, with that said, you do the war game. I cannot say what else is going to happen, but all I can say is, you win. And some stuff will actually happen. That's very good. After that, you don't need to know for now. All you need to be worried about is that, not future events. Just, how long do we have? She will look down and I will say, it's... Well, if you remember from the manga, 3 days pass and we had to pay a fine. Well, we weren't heavily taxed due to it, because we only are a small familia. Which she will nod, in which that did happen, but since basically you brought back an unknown monster core, we weren't fined. Which I have a nod understanding. Yeah. Was there anything else? Like a drop? Which Hestia will be kind of shifting a bit as I, narrow my eyes. She goes, yes, there was, but it's, as I look over, as, she was pointing to as, I would see basically not a weapon, not basically an item, just a monster drop. As I would, get up slowly and walk to it, wincing a bit as when I get to it, I pick it up and I go, this is an origami core. Huh. As then I basically, put it in my armory and I would just say, it looks like I can create something with it. This would be very interesting, what I can basically make. She goes, do you think you can upgrade the God Arc? Yeah. Maybe I can. I can basically combine it with something else. Or increase it to be a level beyond it. I mean, the blade edge is red, while basically the rest of the basically is black. Well, the rest of the blade is black, like a katana. So, who knows? But, I look back at her, like, but we'll win this. I gotta make sure of it. It's gonna be a couple of days, but I think I'll be back in the swing of things. Just need basically a full night rest, Hestia. But we need to get back to, well, the familia, right? She would nod. She goes, well, you do need to rest, and then basically have to go visit Edna. Which I just sigh, and I would nod. So, I go back into the, well, sit back on the bed, I look at her, and she goes, good night, Belle. Not Belle, I mean, good night, Soul. And I would just chuckle, like, yeah. Still tired. As I did not realize how tired my body was as I just fell back to sleep. Now, where I awake is basically I see the Queen in front of me. As I just blink, as she goes, so, did you like the gifts? I would nod. She goes, you didn't even look in the bag, did you? I'm like, not yet. She goes, well, as you know, there's some argine parts and some stuff from Code Vein. Something that you really needed a lot. As I blink and I'm saying, blood beads? She goes, of course. She has a soft smile on her face. You need to survive. And besides, it'll be bad timing if you don't have them. As I would nod slowly. And I would just ask, so, is that all you wanted to say to me, Queen? She goes, for now, please. Be careful, Soul Kurosaki. I'm basically enjoying watching what's happening. You're making an interesting story. As I'll wake up and it'll be nighttime. Hestia's not there. And basically I see some food basically on a tray as I just chuckle. I get up slowly and grab the tray and put it. Yeah, as I said, I grab the tray and put it in my lap. And the meal is basically some meat, probably a steak, some bread, and some water. Well, obviously a soup. I just, have a soft smile and I goes, thank you guys. As then obviously I eat. So, after that, the next day. Yep, it'll be the next day. And, well, I do have to get to, work in the morning. So I gotta make this a little bit, quick. But, there's not matter, just letting you guys know, this may not be very long, just probably an hour, 10 minutes. So, yeah. Anyways, as I said, the next day, I do go back to the Hestia Familia, and Hestia basically does help me get to the guild as Enna would see me walking with Hestia as my left arm is wrapped. And she basically says, she goes, Soul, you're fine, and is everything okay? Are you alright? And I'm like, yes, I'm fine. So, let me guess, you want to talk? She nods, and she would ask if Hestia can come over. As, basically, she'll blink as she just says, of course. As we will walk into a room, basically for privacy, as, when she opened up the door towards it, Edna would open up the door, an unexpected visitor is there. As Uranus is there, basically. Uranus is there. As I'm blinking, I'm like, he goes, yes, I am. As Hestia goes, Uranus, he goes, I know this is a surprise, but it's about the monster core you basically brought back. Which she'll nod as she'll ask us to sit down. As we would. So, as Edna will basically not sit, but be beside Uranus. As he'll be looking at me, he goes, Soul Kurosaki. And I'll be looking straight at him. He goes, for what you have done, I am eternally grateful. But, the monster that you fought, there are quite a few people, or I should say gods, that are asking about that ability you have. that basically brought some fear into people. Felt like death was soul consumption, which he blinks. Even Edna. Soul consumption is basically a skill that I have that allows me to consume a certain amount of souls. You can go up to 1,000 of it. The more souls I have, the longer it lasts. Say if I only had 700, it only lasts for a good 15 to 20 minutes. 18 tops. 20 is basically pushing it. 1,000 gives me about 30 minutes. Which he'll understand. He goes, and the side effects of this? I feel no pain. I'm in a berserk-like state. And after it wears off, depends on my injuries, I could die. But we all know how that is with me. Which Edna basically gets a little mad. She goes, how can you? As before she can even say any more, as Uranus puts up his hand as she stops and he would nod. He goes, that's understandable since you do not die. Which I'm like, yep, I don't. We both know this, right? Which he goes, you already knew. Huh. Impressive. He goes, I just literally look at him and was like, you made it obvious since basically you already knew my name. Well, you could have got that from the guild, but you knew my name specifically. Since my only alias name is Hunter, or called the Hunter. Okay, so sorry about that. My dad had to do something. He really didn't need to. He just wanted to. Anyways, as I was saying, he made it obvious. So he would not. He was, I did not tend to hide it, but I was contacted, and well, by Hades. I just sigh and be like, well, it makes sense since you're the very first god, and, well, you're basically the most powerful here. Somewhat. Even though you don't have a familia, everyone comes to you. So, well, yes, you've been having someone keep eyes on me, haven't you? The Freya familia? Which he would nod. You are a threat, if necessary. Not intentionally, but unintentionally, you are one. And as basically what Hades said, you have the potential to even be able to kill the gods. As I just nod, it's understandable. Alright, I'm not mad. I actually would be doing exactly the same thing you would have been done. So, about that monster core. He goes, yes. Got all the data we need from it. As well, what we could gather. We know basically it's a combination of monsters. As I was saying, Agenaf, a DLC monster from basically the Dark Souls, the dragon, one-eyed one, which is which Uranus will nod. He goes, an origami from God Eater, a creature that basically can eat anything, and they basically destroyed the world. Which Uranus' eyes widen a bit, but then basically slowly go back to calm, cool, and collected. Everyone nods. He goes, asks to continue. Goes, and Sekiro, Demon of Wrath. I'm calling it the Abomination. Which goes, I see. So if it's an origami, there ain't anything specific about it. He goes, has another monster core. I basically put my hand out and basically pull out basically the core, a round ball. He goes, this is basically what holds all the data of origami. As I throw it back into my armory, I'm gonna see if I can basically have Festus basically make anything from it. You never know, I could probably get something really cool from it. Which, there's a small smile on his face, and then he nods. He goes, yes. I need to tell you. Huh? Hephaestus seems to be a little bit happy since she has a new toy to play with. She has all the information she needs from it, and she's waiting for you to come around. It's to work on that arm of yours. As I basically look at my left arm as I would nod, I'm like, understandable. Alright. Which Edna just says, wait. Um, sir, can you... No, Lord Uranus, what about, Soul here's unkillable? Which I just look at and I just say, short version, I'm not from this world. I'm cursed with basically coming back from death and life. And I have certain skills that basically allow me to basically get stronger every time I die. Oh, and I'm essentially immortal. An unknown god and goddess cursed me to this life of death and rebirth. Isn't that great? As I say with a cheerful smile on my face. Which, and it was like, no, that's not great. That's horrible. That's torture. Yeah. Well, I'm basically gonna get payback on that unknown god or goddess, and Hestia, do you mind if you can check my stats? She goes, wait, what? But I just look at both Edna and Uranus. I'm like, yeah, I know I shouldn't trust them, but I'm too much basically in a not-care attitude to actually ask them to leave. Besides, you could just do it and basically not even have them look. Where she's just blinking and she goes, true. As then I just look at Uranus, he basically would just close his eyes as I know, basically just nod and then run out and get a piece of paper. So, after she does that, the stats would come up. And, well, I just asked Dark Souls system. She goes, well, I just say Soul system. She goes, right, you had 98,850 souls. Now you have 100,000, 3,300,805 souls. You can basically upgrade a certain stat very high. Which one do you want? As I basically would take some thought, and I basically thinking of ahead of time. And basically a certain event will happen after the Apollo arc. A little side arc. As I just smirk. Like, pull my stats into luck. Well, how many times can I basically upgrade? She goes about, well, if you only put it at 1, you update it to about 10, 20, 30, 50 times. I'm like, huh. Alright. So let's put everything in, let's put not everything to luck, but let's make that luck 50. So give me a minute. I'm gonna do basically the, stats. Okay, so, as then I go, alright, so after that, make my faith 50, then make my dexterity 50, make skill 40. And she would nod, and she asked anything else. I'm like, for now, no. How many souls do I have left? And she goes, well, since you kept on increasing, and, well, it kind of made a big jump now. I'm like, oh, great. Yes, this is, the time where basically it's going to cost more now. I'm like, yay! So I gotta go to the lower floors now. You can't say nothing about it, Hestia. But she crumbles. But, okay. Oh, I forgot to do levels. Give me a minute. Okay. And basically adaption 45. Oh, can you basically put 1,000 souls into my safes? Once, which she'll nod. So, she says, okay, so now you basically have is, well, because we added, you forgot to tell me about the whole entire, yeah. Okay, I did also forget to say about the 45, for adaption, adaptability, I mean. So, yeah, but anyways, so the 5 The 50,000 was for that too. So nothing changed from that until now. So it goes, now basically put the 1,000 into the saved souls, which she goes, done. You have now 1,300 saved souls. Now, let's go into your, well, your other system, your stats. I'm like, right. So, after basically she gets the stats, she says, oh, it seems the gift you got from Eyes is changed. Which I'm like, huh? It wasn't fully finished. Knife to the Wind? Which I'm just basically have a soul, which basically Edna basically somehow, well, she had her eyes closed, but yet though she could tell for some reason, along with Hestia, that I'm smiling about that a bit, and she goes, why are you smiling? Goes, and I go like this. Knife to the Wind. That's a title basically someone has from a video game. Can't believe I actually have that now. Which she basically nods and she does say this. Well, it seems basically the Night Tempest, or Tempest Ariel, basically, from Eyes as a gift was, well, not an original name, because even though it had night in it, it wasn't fully formed. You're fully awakened it now, and you can move faster than basically the wind itself. There's no air resistance, and you basically can, wow, you can basically probably clear the dungeon up to up to floor basically 18. Which I just smirk, I'm like, so, no complaints from you? Which she basically sighs, goes, no. Now, I don't want you to basically go running always for the dungeon. You never know what could happen in it. I'm like, I got it. So yeah, so after that, she basically shows me the stats, and based on blinking, I'm like, huh, I'm almost close to S rank on endurance. And in agility. I should probably use my magic and basically strength a bit more. Oh well. Where she does not, well, Hessie goes, to be fair, I don't even know how you're able to do it. But since you did take that hit from Goliath, yeah. Which I would not. I'm like, I do think though I wasn't fully, when we faced the first Goliath on the 17th floor, my stats basically are going to increase lower and slower, but though the second Goliath shows, oh yeah, I forgot. There was basically an item drop, which we had to give to the guild, which I'm just looking at them and I'm like, really, face? Which Edna just chuckled, nervously, which Irina says, the fee, which I'm just nodding and like, yeah. So, as I put it back on my shirt and basically have the paper give to Edna, I'm like, do you think I can go to basically floor 19 to 25? Which she does look at it and she sighs and she says, I have no choice but give you permission. Which I'm just nodding. So, I'm just looking at basically Uranus. I'm like, the Monster Core? Which he would nod and get up and says to follow him. So, we are led to the back where the Monster Core is, as he would say, take it. As I would. As I would basically just look at them and like, I may basically give it back to you. I may give you back it if basically I need some extra cash. Which Edna says we can't take it. I'm just blinking, I just sigh, I'm like, but then I look at them like, I can give you basically a Goliath core. Which he says, we'll take that. I'm like, alright. I'll get it. Which basically Hessie goes, but don't you have it? I'm like, oh yeah. Basically I bring out the second one. Which I still have the first since we only took like pieces of it off, which is still a lot there. Which they basically blink and I just smirk, as Enna would basically just sigh and just go and give us the money. I want to say it's 69,755 valis. Not valis, but the currency in it. The money, basically. Yeah, for now, right now it's valis. Valis, basically, if I... it should be. So anyways... Sorry, I just have a stuffy nose now since I got the fan on. And it's getting colder outside. But yeah, as I was saying, so, after that, after getting paid, I would basically go over seeing Mika? Well, not Mitch. Let me just go find it real quick. The notes. Yeah, Miach. Basically. Miach, basically. Yeah. And I would basically go to the store. I'm like, hello? Is God Miach here? Yeah. Yeah, Miach, basically M-I-C-H. Well, M-I-A-C-H, I mean. Yeah, M-I-C-H. Which, basically, where's her name? I'm trying to find it. Give me a minute. As Naza basically says, yes, he is in here. And like, it's me, So Kurosaki. I'm here to pay back what I owe. Which she just blinks, she goes, oh, yes, let me get him. As Miach will basically appear. Naza would get Miach and he'll come out, he goes like, Soul, you're here to pay back? He goes, yeah, here. It's 60,007... whatever. Just 60,007 something valis. Which he blinks, he goes, I basically am surprised. How did you get this? Don't worry, I didn't steal it. So, you don't need to worry. I got this from a monster core. Really? He goes, Goliath. Oh. You've been already spending money here, a lot of it, so you've been using that to pay back your debt, but I pay for items. Yes. So let's count out how much money you, oh. So, from the few health potions that have needed to be used on me, it was only about like 40,250 valis. Which I'm like, thanks. So, he would just nod. He was like, anyways, where you going now? He was, seeing how fast it is. Gotta get some upgrades. See ya. He would nod. And I go do that. But, yeah, okay. So, yeah, I would go do that. When I see Hephaestus, she goes, take your time. I've been waiting for you. I'm kind of injured. Hestia was with me, but I told her to leave. She would nod. He goes, core? I just sigh, bring out basically the fire puppet's core. She goes, good. Here. And she basically opens up her, forge, as I will see a new machine. Well, a new, basically, tool for her. As I'm like, wait, isn't that technology-based? She goes, not really. Let's match up with the medieval theme. You have to put your arm in there, and basically I use some crystals that you power my golly energy into it, and, combined it with the core, it will basically turn to light and go into your arm. This will basically give it a boost of to your fire. I'm like, so it's throughout my whole entire body. She goes, yes. Huh. Right. So I do that, and basically it was a little bit weird. Not painful, but weird. So, basically she goes, alright, try it. As I'm like, okay. So as soon as I basically hold up my hand, I focus Hestia's, well, my power to make flames with my magic, and then all of a sudden, poof, blue flames there. I'm like, my regular flames are blue now. She goes, interesting. Alright. As basically stops. She goes, well, this just means basically you are going to have a lot more basically fun. A lot more firepower in your hands. You may be able to control the flames a bit too. I'm like, yeah. Also, Hestia said there's a chain on your arm. Thanatos. I can only basically bind people or boss monsters and, I get hit on them. And she'll nod. So, anyways, Vestus, I got an idea. She goes, like what? As I bring out the origami core. And basically hold out my, basically then all of a sudden the abomination core comes out. I'm like, think we can make something with these? She goes, still got basically the Goliath core? I'm just nod. She goes, we can make a couple weapons and probably some armor piece. Think of some ideas and I'll think of some and we'll brainstorm, okay? I'll nod. Basically I put it back. Well, all them back. And I'm like, anyways, I'm gonna have to rest up for basically one more day. Well, for the whole day, and then I'll go back in the dungeon. I won't go far into it, but how should I say? She goes, you won't go far because you basically will think of some ideas. I'm like, yep. Anyways, catch you later. She would basically just nod and says, see you around. I don't cause no trouble. As always, I'm like, hey. When do I ever cause trouble? She goes, always. I'm like, True. So yeah, after that I will leave and I'll go back to the Hestia Familia. Now, I can't basically do nothing because of my injuries, so I decide just start to draw. I'm like, now, what should we make? Should I combine the Goliath core with basically the Abomination core and make a weapon, armor, or something else? Decisions. So, that's where I'm going to leave it off, everyone. I do know I'm going to be creating basically a bow staff and probably, something else. Let me know basically what you guys would think would be good, like armor or weapon or item. Alright? So, you guys have a nice day, night, wherever you are. Bye, everyone. And oh my god, I've basically been doing this for an hour, 18 minutes. Well, yeah. Bye. Enjoy the rest of your night or day.